Steve Yzerman is out as general manager of the Detroit Red Wings, effective immediately today. Just announced this morning, 7 seasons, zero playoff berths, and now the straw that broke the camel's back, Dylan Larkin trade requests. One too many things. Let me break this down, but first, who is this to the Detroit Red Wings franchise? Because Steve Yzerman isn't just any GM, right? He had 692 career goals as a player. He had 1,755 career points with the Detroit Red Wings. He was captain of the Red Wings for 2 decades, I think. He brought them Stanley Cups. He was one of the longest captaincies in NHL history for this franchise. His jersey hangs in the rafters at the arena. One of only 9 Red Wings to have a retired jersey. This guy's a legend of the Detroit Red Wings franchise. Now, this isn't just like Detroit firing some outside hire. This is Detroit ending an era with a franchise icon. And I don't think they officially said fired. They said he was, immediately out, whatever that means. I think because of his legendary status with the franchise, they wanted to let that happen and play out that way. But for all intents and purposes, the way I'm reading this, he's pushed out. Okay. That's how bad this got. And here's what happened as GM to understand this. Yzerman took over in April of 2019, 7 years ago. His goal, stated goal, was to bring him back to contention for the Stanley Cup, the Yzer plan. I think somebody said that was cute, but that was the name for his rebuild, right? Draft well, develop internally, build a contender the same way he did in Tampa, um, where he built a roster that eventually would bring them cups. 7 years later in Detroit, though, not one playoff berth. That's bad, right? Zero, nothing. Meanwhile, the team he built in Tampa continued winning cups without him. That had a sting. So Yzerman struggled to develop top prospects into stars. He swung and missed on some things. He reportedly attempted to get Quinn Hughes last season, went nowhere. Fan base, media, obviously the ownership, everybody started to run out of patience. And then, reason I said this, the Dylan Larkin thing, your captain requests a trade that happened early June. That just blew it up, right? That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Larkin's captain. He grew up a Red Wings fan. Um, he signed through 2031. So Elliot Friedman had reported that Larkin officially requested the trade. Yzerman confirmed it by the end of June. He said, "My job as the manager of the Detroit Red Wings is always to do what is in the best interest of the Detroit Red Wings, and I will act accordingly to that." I don't know if that was some disguised saying like it could be me, right? So 2 weeks later, Yzerman's out. The statement this morning was kind of a blunt quote. It said, "Clearly, Illich, it was clearly we're not where we and our fans expect to be as an organization. I'm looking forward to bringing in new leadership to build the championship caliber organization Hockeytown deserves." So, translation, Yzer plan is dead. Time for something new. So now who's going to replace him? There's a few names on that list that are being floated early on. Chris Draper, beloved former Red Wings player, currently is assistant GM. Nick Lidstrom, Hall of Fame defenseman, currently VP of hockey operations. Sean Horkoff, longtime Detroit hockey operations guy. So any of those three could represent some continuity with the franchise. But they also might look externally. Yzerman himself is going to awkwardly stay on as a senior advisor to Chris Illich. He's not going anywhere. So he'll be on the search committee for who's going to replace him. So he's staying, he's just not running the show. But I think the big question now is what happens to Dylan Larkin? Is he going to rescind the trade request? Think about it. Larkin's, had some beef with the organization. Yzerman's running the organization. Does he feel like he's open to a new conversation with new leadership, new GM, new direction, new start? If I'm Larkin, maybe I wait a second and see who they're bringing in. So I talked about Patrick Kane in a video that I just made. That was kind of stalled. Kane wanted to come back to Detroit, but the captain wants out. Everything's in flux. Is Patrick Kane actually like going to come back to Detroit now? Is that landing spot back on the board? I don't know. So, bottom line, Steve Yzerman's out. 7 years of no success, no playoff bursts. Um, just the final straw is Larkin asking to be traded. Your captain wants to be traded. That's bad news for the GM, right? So, if you like this breakdown, talk about the NHL, hit that subscribe, leave in the comments what you think is going on here and what you think is going to happen, and I'll catch you in the next video.